Hello and welcome to Electric Football. This is the 2016 Divisional Playoffs show. I'm Stu Pace, and with me as always, Steve Brown.
Why did I have to be a Viking fan? Why did that little 5 or 6 year old Steve Brown have to pick the stinking Vikings? Fred Targeted running around in the snow made me happy, but it doesn't make me happy anymore. Sorry. Go ahead, Stu.
All right, anyway, so yeah, wow, what an ending for your team. You know, there were some weird games this weekend, and oddly all the road teams won, which was just, one of the first times ever, or the first time, because it can't be one of the first times.
Whew.
Anyway, so we're going right into, sorry, unless you want to talk about it.
Just real quick, everyone's talking about Blair Walsh's miss, obviously, and he stood up after the game and gave the interviews and was evidently sobbing afterwards. He's a great kicker. Gary Anderson was a great kicker. Scott Norwood was a great kicker. You can't take everything away from them for that one single miss, but it was a painful miss. Everyone's talking about Adrian Peterson's fumbles and his penchant for fumbling in the playoffs. And yeah, it's hurt us. There's no denying it. And it's hard to root for Adrian Peterson after he beats his kid and then, fumbles away. It's hard to root for a lot of guys in the NFL right now. But nobody is mentioning that Andrew Sendejo had an interception. Now, he dove, but it was a pick that should have easily been made. And he managed to get his hands above, not under the ball. Nobody's really mentioned that play, and that play hurt as much as any of the others. But yeah, I was watching. My wife came in and said, "Are they? What's going on?" I said, "They're going to lose." And she said, "Well, what's happening?" I said, "They're down a point, and they're kicking a 27-year-old. It's 27-year-old, good, 27-yard field goal.
Probably.
I'd like to kick a 27-year-old right now." And she went, "Well, they're going to win." And I went, no, he's going to miss. And she went, "No, there's no way he's going to miss." And I said, "Honey, welcome to being a Viking fan," as he shanked it. He missed it. No, it wasn't even freaking. And don't give me this laces pointing, laces out. 27 yards to lace. You can have freaking wings on the ball, and one of them can be broken. It should go through the damn post. It's the shortest miss in wild card playoff history, probably playoff history to win a game.
I do feel bad. I mean, I was rooting for your team. Vikings are an old school team that I liked, and.
And you know what? Tonight is Clemson versus Alabama. Yeah. So if you really want to see the rest of my psyche shattered, just watch Clemson lose late.
Somebody beat Nick Saban.
There it goes.
Please.
Nick Saban, I love that movie. Anyway, Kansas City at Patriots. I've already ranted a bit, Stu.
All right, well, is this where the magic for Andy Reid ends? The Chiefs are catching the Pats at a good time because they still are banged up everywhere. And, Brady's limping, but I don't think it's that much of a factor here. They aren't the juggernaut that they used to be in the playoffs. This postseason, they're coming in as still the number 2 seed. But not a dominating team like they've been in the past. Still, Bill Belichick can outsmart anybody on the field, and certainly Andy Reid looks dumb on the TV, so he looks outsmartable. The Chiefs are probably going to lose, but on paper they are giving up less points, less yards, and less third down conversions than the Patriots. But still, Macklin's injured, and that hurts the Chiefs. So with a heavy heart, I am going to go with New England. But I am rooting really hard for the Arrowheads.
Stuart, you ignorant slut. Is this where the magic ends for, I agreed with you, and then I thought you were going to say Bill Belichick. I am actually taking the Chiefs in this one. I think people are underestimating the Chiefs' pass rush against a completely decimated Patriots line. Mm-hmm. And I think people are overestimating the advantage Bill Belichick has over Andy Reid. Andy Reid didn't just come around yesterday. He didn't fall off the turnip truck, as they say.
I think he did.
He looks like he ate a lot of the turnip truck, but he's a damn fine coach. He's catching the Patriots, as you mentioned, at a time when they are undermanned by injuries and not as dominant as they once were. They were almost protecting Tom Brady by not letting him pass late in the season. And he's going against, the Justin Houstons of the world, the Tamba Ali's, a definitive pass rush, a team that decimated the Texans. The one other thing we learned this weekend was that the NFC East and the AFC South really did suck.
They sucked.
We also learned that, I can't speak today, we learned that Joey Porter can still make a big play for the Steelers. And we learned that Pac-Man Jones and Vontaze Burfict have not learned from the past.
Unbelievable.
So anyway, rolling all of this into one big giant Steve digestible chunk and throwing it at you. I like the Chiefs. I think they don't have a big disadvantage in coaching. I think Alex Smith is not Tom Brady, but he is a good, solid player that can make plays with his feet.
He's
and he
running a lot, yeah.
And he is healthy right now.
Yeah.
And I think the big advantage is the Chiefs' defense is going to overwhelm the Patriots' offensive
line.
line.
You're right, brother.
So give me the Chiefs in this one.
All right. Let's go to the Packs and the Cardinals. Packers offense finally came alive against the Redskins. Don't know what brought that on.
Could be that the Redskins suck.
Yeah, it could be. It's the NFC East. Anyway, Eddie Lacy exploded for the longest run of the season for him and still had under 100 yards.
Good point.
He looked better, but he looks bigger. I mean, when I was watching this game...
He looks fat.
Yeah, he got fat.
Not bigger like, whoa.
Yeah, no.
We're talking bigger like fat.
And James Stark was a factor, and I would have given him the ball more because he was actually punching the ball when he had it in his hands. He was running hard. He was
literally holding the ball.
He was punching the ball. Rodgers did look unbeatable and was smiling throughout the game.
He was having fun.
Yeah, he was comfortable during the game. But welcome to Arizona. 3 weeks ago, the Cardinals feasted on these guys. They held Rodgers to his lowest point yardage total ever in his career. And even with the confidence after a win like that could help the Pack, I still think the Cardinals' defense is too scary. I don't think the Packers are going to get the running game going. I'm taking Cardinals.
I'm with you. Cards easy. Pack's win just proved how bad the NFC East really was. The major advantage here is Cardinals' team speed. On offense at the skill positions, they are faster than the Green Bay defenders. And on defense, their defensive backs are faster than anything that Green Bay is going to throw at them from the wide receiver and the tight end position. I think this is the easiest game to pick this week. I think the Cardinals walk easy. Then we move on to the Seahawks at Carolina.
Game of the week. You go.
No, you go.
All righty. Well, it's the game of the week.
It is the game of the week.
These two monster defenses go against each other, and they're going to hurt each other. And the winner is going to limp out of the stadium. A miracle in Minnesota put this matchup together, and
it wasn't no miracle.
Well, the Hawks sputtered. I mean, it was just non-existent. And I know it was cold as balls in Minnesota, but they looked awful.
That was a big factor. I swear to God, that was a big factor for the Vikings.
Ball was hitting these guys' hands. It must have felt like someone threw literally a rock at you. These two quarterbacks will run often in this game because they're not much of a passing game. Seattle offense is a better passing team, but I can see the legs of these two quarterbacks being the difference in the game, and whoever is more successful getting those key first downs when they're going to have to, because I have a feeling we're going to be in a lot of third and longs with both of these teams. The Panthers have a suspect secondary, so I think Russ Wilson can take advantage of that. And the Panthers trailed in the last meeting, came back with 2 touchdowns to win it. I don't know. I don't get the Seattle confidence going into this game. Just that wasn't a win where you go, oh, they're gonna come in and crush the Panthers. I think the Panthers go, oh, look, they're not that good. I'm taking the Panthers in this game.
Game of the week, I agree. Probably playoff matchup of the year. If this was the Super Bowl, would anybody be complaining if this was the Super Bowl matchup? I would be excited about it. QBs that sort of mirror each other's skill sets. Cam is a little bit bigger, but they're both capable of running. They're both often dangerous when a play breaks down, a la Russell Wilson saving the season with that snap went right by me. Instead of just diving on it as most quarterbacks would have, slid, got up, kind of juked Captain Munnerlyn, who I think was still looking for the ball on the ground. No, I'm serious. I think he didn't keep contain. I think he ran to the ball, not really factoring in that Wilson was going to get to it first. I think he thought Wilson was going to do what most quarterbacks would have done in that situation, go belly down on the ball. And instead, Wilson did sort of a half baseball slide, came up and made a play. Newton is capable of those kind of plays too. They're both non-traditional quarterbacks that can hurt you more when a play breaks down.
Absolutely.
Which makes this game very hard to pick, because who is going to have that moment when the play breaks down and they come up big? Both defenses are very impressive. They shut down Adrian Peterson and caused him to that ball came popping out of there late. Oh, there's a surprise. By the way, high and tight, Adrian. Get your hand around the front of the ball. Anyway, both teams have playmakers on all three levels. I was very impressed by Seattle's defensive line. Michael Bennett was a freaking just Viking killer throughout that whole game. Richard Sherman still playing at a high level. Of course, you got the Carolina linebackers. You have Josh Norman. It's an even game, except the Panthers have 1 week of rest. The Panthers have home field advantage. So, given those two factors, I'm leaning just very slightly to the Panthers. And I expect either team that wins this game to be in the Super Bowl. Okay. Actually, I expect either team that wins this game. No, I won't say that yet. I'm not gonna take the Cardinals out of this.
Yeah,
I should not do that.
I wouldn't throw them out of the window at all.
Okay. So those are my thoughts. I think Carolina by 2-3, it's going to be razor close. And if Wilson makes another miracle play, I won't be surprised if Seattle marches on. Mm-hmm. We go to the final game, Steelers at Denver. Me? Really?
Sure.
Okay.
I feel bad. You didn't get.
That's fine. It would be a much more competitive game if the Steelers weren't completely banged up. Yeah. What happened with Burfict hitting Brown? If it was anyone else, you might go, could he have pulled out? I don't know. With Burfict, you go, son of a bitch, did it again. I mean, he's been doing it since Arizona State. He went on. That talented of a guy went undrafted because everyone was like, oh my God, he's a loose cannon. Yeah. And it is proven that Cincinnati is not afraid of picking up some loose cannons because there's Adam Pac-Man Jones. The rivalry between the Steelers and Cincinnati is actually getting to a level that's almost scary. It's when people are tweeting like, I'll paint that guy's ass if I see him in South Beach, it's sounding Crips and Bloods. Mm-hmm. It's sounding personal, not a professional rivalry. And if the NFL cannot reel this in, and they tried to, they were aware of this, and they tried to reel this in, and Cincinnati fans throwing things at a wounded quarterback, come on. What level? Are we going down to soccer hooliganism? Fuck it, I can't say it. All right? We lost.
Places out, man.
I'm sorry. So I think it would have been a very exciting game. You got Le'Veon Bell and D'Angelo Williams are gone. I mean, attrition is now the most important thing in the NFL. If you're healthy, a la mostly the Chiefs, mostly the Panthers, mostly the Cardinals, those are the teams we're going to pick. The teams that are missing key players, the Jordy Nelsons of the world, mm-hmm. The Jeremy, I picked the Chiefs, but the Jeremy Maclins of the world. And in the Steelers' case, their entire freaking offense.
Really?
It's hard to pick them. They're going with Peyton. Denver is. The big advantage here, though, is Denver's defense going against Landry Jones mm-hmm. and a depleted offense. You're on your third string running back. You've lost the best wide receiver in the game. You've lost one of the best quarterbacks in the game. Or if he plays, he's likely to be out as soon as somebody goes.
He's going to play.
Yeah, God bless him. He's a tough guy.
Yep.
But he's not going to last, would be my guess. And you've got a fierce defense, great pass rush. Give me Denver in this one.
All right. Well, Broncos D is clearly better than the Steelers, and yet the Broncos lost to Pittsburgh last month. And granted, that was when Brock Rottweiler was quarterback. But Manning comes in. This is his final push, I think, to get that ring again. Big Ben gave Martavius Bryant a real big, laying out in the public.
Clemson, man.
And he came up big in that game. I mean, and that's the kind of confidence you can instill a guy like that. Like, look, man, you're better than what you've been doing. Get out there and play for us. You suck now. Go play better. And he did. And that means wonders for the Steelers' offense, especially with Brown. If he's out, is he definitely out?
I don't know as of right now, but if you looked at that hit and the way he was laid out, you've got to think concussion protocol, and you've got to think that I would, until told otherwise, I'm assuming he's out.
Yeah, this is Monday night, so we're going to assume that he's out, okay? That's the Pittsburgh offense. As good as Martavius Bryant can be, no one's going to make up for Antonio Brown if he's not on the field. But is Manning really back? I mean, he's another guy that you can go like that to doink, and all of a sudden you got Landry Jones versus Brock Rottweiler.
Yeah,
again.
but who are you taking in that matchup? I'm taking Osweiler.
Well, I'm taking Denver anyway. I think Pittsburgh defense is no steel curtain anymore, and it's been a problem for them all season. You're right. The Broncos defense is so much better than anything that the Steelers are putting out on the offensive side of the ball. I was leaning towards Pitt till, I was reading about these injuries and depending on who's playing. But in all seriousness, Peyton Manning will win this game at home. They will protect him. That's going to be the marching orders in that locker room this week is going to be whatever the fuck you do, that guy stands straight up and throws the ball.
If he goes down, you go down, and your family goes down.
Exactly.
Well,
and then we're going to paint your ass in South Beach.
There you go.
Huh?
Ground control to Major Stu.
Yeah, we have differing opinions maybe on this.
Ground control to Major Stu.
This guy was a defining artist in my life, and that guy too. David Bowie to me, and I don't want to argue with you here because we'll do that another show maybe. But to me, the guy's music spoke to me. He was groundbreaking on so many levels, both in bringing the glam rock and the androgyny and basically telling people it's okay to be weird, to come out, change his styles way before anyone else was. He was ahead of the curve all the way up till 80, 81. I'm not saying his post station to station stuff was great. I know you're smiling, but
I just like that you came out pro androgyny.
It was a weird time, man. I was 12 or 13 when I first discovered him, and I didn't know what to make of it, but all I know is that the music that was coming out of those speakers was divine. So, Mr. Bowie, I'm going to miss you.
Cheers to David
Hell
Bowie.
of a friggin' lot.
I'll give him credit for a few songs, and I saw the Glass Spider tour, but it was more to see Squeeze. It was a weird lineup. It was Lisa and the Cult Jam.
Yeah, that was awful.
Opening for Squeeze.
I was at that show.
Opening for David Bowie.
Yeah.
There you go. We were at the same show, and we didn't even know each other.
That's right. And he went to see Lisa, and I went to see Peter Frampton back up David Bowie on
I
the guitar.
went to see Squeeze, and I still don't know why I like pulling muscles from a shell.
It's just, you like that.
It's weirdness. I have David Bowie's credit tips. Don't get me wrong. This is a football show. It is not a music show. The music show, Electric Music Show, is coming next. But if you like androgyny, between David Bowie and then Duran Duran, then Prince.
Ziggy played guitar.
God bless Ziggy and the
See you
Spiders
next
from
week.
Mars.